On January 6, 2026, we celebrated the discovery of continental drift, the 32nd anniversary of the kneecapping of Nancy Kerrigan, and Casual Wednesday at the US Capitol. It was also the day the people who actually don't get paid at all for building the Trans-Euro Trail, the linesmen, surprised us with a couple of new TET sections. If you ride to challenge yourself, you can skip the first 120 kilometers of section 23, from Malmö to just before Tomelilla. I wrote it so you wouldn't have to.
This is the kind of roads you're looking for? Skip the southern section. Seriously, skip the tarmac, skip the open fields, skip the wind.
If you don't care about the review and just want to see the nice roads, that's in the second half of this video.
If you're a dirt Bambi and need the practice before braving the slightly more challenging north, don't skip it. But almost all the exciting bits are packed into the last 120 kilometers, and I'll show you one trail that is borderline illegal in Sweden. The total distance covered in this review is about 250 kilometers. I wrote it in 2 different days. Day 1 was about 120, the remaining 130 on day 2. The difficulty changes with the weather. Wet, it can be a 4 out of 10, dry between 1 and 3. This portion of section 23 is fine for beginners or intermediate riders who want a mostly chill experience. Provided you don't fuck up like I did and run off the road into a field. That's coming up in the second half of the video. Nowhere is gnarly or remote enough to plan a bailout point, so don't sweat that. And nowhere on the route is extremely far from a gas station, village or town, so don't fret more than usual about gas and food. Whatever tires you'd ride the rest of the TET on will work here. Day 1 was about an even split between pavement and dirt. Gun to my head, a little bit more dirt. On the second day, the dirt easily won because of the forest dual tracks and 1 or 2 surprises. You can ride what's in this video in 6-7 hours if you push it, or 8 if you take it easy. There might be road closures if you ride in late winter during thaw season. The roads are most sensitive then, and a lot of private landowners close them to avoid emptying their wallets into potholes come spring. If you see a military-looking radio tower in the forest, keep your chin cam pointed elsewhere. 360 owners, you're shit out of luck. You won't hear me speak about trails in this video, with one exception. No, this is not the exception. In Sweden, if it's not a road, it's illegal. No motor vehicles on trails, no motor vehicles on single track. Your bike is not going on a walking trail on the Swedish TET. So, about them roads. Day 1 is in the most southern part of section 23. It's a pretty even mix of gravel roads and pavement with some dirt and farm roads sprinkled in. Roads like these aren't my idea of fun anymore. They're fine for people who are just learning to ride on gravel, or people who like taking it easy. I don't ride my motorcycle like a geriatric trying to get from A to B as comfortably as possible. If I did, I would LARP Sons of Anarchy and get a wheeled couch, or a huge GS and 3 hard panniers. I like it when the road demands something of me. If I'm forced onto flat roads, I want ruts, potholes, and deep squirrely gravel. I want it to require technique, not just a comfortable seat and a good audiobook. Most of the roads in southern Sweden demand a high tolerance for boredom and wind, so it's not for riders like me. But if you're learning or want a chill open road experience, then you might like this. There are some exceptions, like roads that were recently graveled, where you can feel your front tire floating left and right.
You can feel the front tire just squirm here. It's like it's on tracks that I can't really control myself.
But those aren't the norm. As the season goes on, they get polished down to a bald hardpack, with a center strip made to wash out noobs and anyone who took a wrong turn on an R1. There are also a few dirt tracks that get you off your seat.
A lot of this is pretty, but it's not super exciting, you know?
And this short section of tractor ruts that get genuinely interesting when wet. Section 23 got updated while I was making this video, but all I missed was a section of pavement and a fucking death trap. Another rider who didn't have the update hit a chain that some asshole farmer had illegally ran across the road. It's for stuff like this that our heroic linesmen constantly update the TET. Also, to not bother the locals. They keep our hobby safe and fun. Farmers and locals who constantly have to fix their roads and buy horse Prozac every week attract gates and signs like a Royal Enfield attracts somebody who doesn't have a personality. So it makes sense to reroute the TET sometimes. Because instead of no bikes passing on a road, at least some bikes can. Even if they're not riding the TET. Let me know in a comment below if you encounter any closures, and make sure to tell the TET Sweden group on Facebook. Link in the description. The south is mostly farm country, and forests that aren't either a nature reserve or a military training ground are rare. And even rarer is a road through them without one of these fuckers. So the TET people have a real challenge finding interesting sections. You can tell by the amount of pavement in this part of 23. There's just too much of it. And it shows when the road makes detours for very little payoff, like dumpster diving for some dirt.
We couldn't find any gravel, but here, any nice long gravel section. But here's the next best thing. Here's a little 30-meter section of gravel for you. Here's a typical thing on this section, or typical. This is, I think, second or third time we see this. It's a little detour whose only purpose is to put you on a gravel road, which is not as good as the road you could have been on. So we came from there and we detoured for this little gravel section.
It can feel a bit forced. The novelty of the farmland and the canola fields wears off fast. See one canola field, you've seen them all. You crest a hill and there's farmland rolling to the horizon. Looks good, but it's hard to enjoy it when the wind is loud enough to drown out your own thoughts, which out here is most of the time.
End of day one.
Before we get into the second part, I have to say I saw no one and no animals on day one. Day two treated me like a Disney princess. I mean, look at this cute shit.
Hej grabbar! And dogs. Hey son! Hey little boys. We're back where we left off yesterday.
Day two starts with some of the notes from day one applying as well, at least in this area. It's not until you get north of Sjöbo and Stenshuvud National Park that it starts to get more interesting. But once you get there, coming off the heels of day one, there are sections that made me think, okay, now we're on the TET. There are still paved roads, don't get me wrong, especially around Kristianstad, but they feel less like a main feature and more like a necessary evil, a transport section. The further north you get, the more the forest takes over, and the roads change with it. It's dual track through the trees, some of it's so bumpy that I had to turn my music down to concentrate. This is the trail I mentioned earlier. it starts as a forest dual track, normal enough, but at some point it stops being a road and becomes a memory of a road.
You get in farm country in Sweden. You have to be, you have to find something super illegal to ride on anything like this anywhere close to Malmö or in the far south. So, as far as I'm concerned, if this is what you're looking for, this is where I'd go. I'd skip the far south altogether. I mean, I'm telling you this really late in the video because I wanted you to watch it, but I don't know. Maybe I'll put a Easter egg somewhere in the video for you. I would stand up here, but I'd just be dodging branches if I did. Good. And we're out of that.
I tried this road a month earlier and I couldn't get through. There were logged trees across it like pickup sticks. This time they were gone and they'd freshly covered it, not with gravel, but with cat head-sized rocks.
Baby heads or cat heads? I wonder. What head measurement is this? It's one of them. You want a challenge? You need to keep your speed up.
I didn't say anything earlier, but at the end of this road was something that surprised me a lot.
What is this shit? What the fuck? Well, didn't think I would do this on a ride in Sweden. That was racist.
There was also a little surprise with some sand on it.
Let's get into the... get out of the sand. And just go through it.
Looking back, it was one meh day and one good day, which you could probably cover in one day if you're doing a dedicated TET ride. It turned out to be a bit of an adventure. A couple of wrong turns, farm vehicles on the road, dogs chasing me, and that little mishap.
Whoa. Whoa. Oh, shit. Whoa. Nobody fucking saw that.
Day 2 was a lot more satisfying than the southern bits and the roads closer to Malmö. It's easier to describe what's wrong with something than what's right, so I just showed you. If you're anything like me but still want to experience the farmlands without making them the main attraction, start where I did on day 2. I'm going to put a Google Maps link to my starting point in the description. And if you see any videos in the end screen, click those too.
Fuck. Just when it's normal when a goddamn prize.